welcome to Backcountry Skiing Canada and Whitewater Ski Resort's Avalanche Conditions Report for February 5th, 2015. This is our report going into this coming up weekend, and it should be an exciting weekend. We're heading into a very significant storm cycle, and so we just want to talk a little bit about our local conditions. We're doing this inside today because it's snowing with strong southwesterly winds outside, and we'll take you outside to take a look at that in a little bit. Right now, when we're looking at Avalanche Canada's site here, today they're calling considerable in the alpine and moderate at tree line and below tree line. When they do their forecast for the region, they forecast for a very large region, and locally what we're seeing is the storm has come through a little bit earlier than forecasted. We've had 11 centimeters overnight. We're probably close to 15 centimeters by now in the last more than 12-hour period with these strong southwest winds loading in our area. So locally for our drainage, I would bump our hazard up to high. Ski cutting this morning, we are seeing some good reactions, size 1 loose and slab avalanches. Some of this is running in the new storm snow, and some of it in the steeper features is stepping down to the most recent surface hoar crust combination that we have, which was buried on February 1st. So that crust is evident at all aspects and all elevations in our area. Sometimes on the north aspect it's a thinner crust, it's still quite supportive. On the south aspects it's a thicker crust and very supportive. So again, that makes a great bed surface. The surface hoar on it right now in our weather plot is still a good 2 centimeters thick, and in some of our testing this morning we were getting easy failures down 21 centimeters on that surface hoar. So as we go into the weekend and this storm intensifies, I talked to our local weather forecaster this morning and he's saying we could get 80 to 100 millimeters of precipitation this weekend. We're concerned about our freezing levels. It looks like we're hanging in there so far, but regardless, we're going to get an incredible amount of load onto these weak layers. So anytime that you get load on the weak layer, if that fails, then we have the possibility that that can step down to our lower layers. So just as we've been talking about all winter, the next layer that we're concerned about was a surface hoar layer, and on the south aspects it was also a crust layer from January 15th. And that layer is probably down 60 to 80 centimeters now. And the December 17th layer is the layer that's below that, and that's going to be down 100 to 185 centimeters. So these layers are getting deep. So if we get a step down avalanche, we have the potential for a very large propagating, destructive avalanches. So we thought we'd come outside and take a look at what's actually going on. The wind is howling. You can probably hear that. It's blowing snow and cross-loading across our start zones. I just wanted to take a minute and mention our avalanche closure areas. So right now we have our upper powder keg and catch basin areas that are in the closed position. When we've cleaned up and mitigated the avalanche hazard, these signs say caution avalanche danger, as there still is, you still are traveling in avalanche terrain. And when they're closed, it's important to know that when they're closed, you cannot cross these avalanche closures. So it is a federal offense to cross a closure like this. It means that there is uncontrolled hazard in that area. And especially when we are doing avalanche control, when we're doing blasting with explosives, it's very, very important that you don't cross these areas. We have to secure our blasting area, and if I'm on the ridge, I'm the blaster of record. I'm in charge of that blasting area, and it's my job to make sure that that's clear. And sometimes it can be hard to see, so we put guards along the line, but we really need the public's help in respecting these closures and knowing that they're here for a reason. So while we're out here, we're just going to take a slide through and look at some of the results of the ski cutting and monitor the wind. We're going to end up shutting down the rest of our closures as we go into this storm cycle and this period of higher hazard. And then we can go ski the trees and have fun. So some of the things that we do all the time is we're testing the snow profile, or testing the snowpack, and we dig snow profiles. And basically what we look for is something harder, stiffer over something weaker. So this is a profile dug in our backcountry area, around 2,000 meters and on a northerly aspect. And I won't get into too many of the details, but in here there's 3 significant surface hoar layers. So with that red line in there, that's where you can see the potential for that failure. So that's our January 15th surface hoar layer, and then down below here we're getting into our December 17th surface hoar layer. So now we have this new storm snow that's added on top of that. Anytime that we get the weight stepping down, or more weight loading onto that, you can get a failure in these areas. So these are the things that we're going to be watching for this weekend. So going into this weekend, we've got some fairly interesting weather loops, and you can see the moisture feed coming through. They do call this a pineapple express straight out of Hawaii. Again, we're crossing our fingers that we hold in there, and it feels like a traditional whitewater day out there today, where it's dumping snow and lots of smiling faces. So talking to our weather forecaster, today the storm is going to continue through the day. The freezing levels are going to come up slightly, but it looks like we're just hanging in there. We've got temperatures at our ridge top at -2.2 with moderate to strong winds. So just a perfect recipe for slab development. Tonight we're going to see a very intense system moving through the major band. Between 1 a.m. and 7 a.m. we could see snowfall rates at 3 to 4 millimeters an hour. So again, that's going to be very, very intense loading. The main systems are continuing through till Sunday. We may see a slight break on Friday, and then Saturday another slight break in there, and there's another system moving through on Sunday, and then a bit of a ridge building into next week. So we're going into a period of very high hazard throughout the weekend. Avalanche Canada has bumped it up tomorrow in the Alpine to high, and Saturday as well in the Alpine to high. So we'll be dealing with a very fresh storm slab. It should be very touchy and very reactive. So as we've been saying all through the winter, we've been saying choose your terrain wisely and cautiously, but this weekend would be a great weekend to really stay out of any kind of avalanche terrain at all. Staying in the lower angle, keep it in bounds. Like I said, we have the potential for very large destructive avalanches to happen this weekend. So enjoy the skiing. If you, again, want to learn more about avalanches, about what we do around here, what avalanche professionals do, what guides do, we have a great opportunity for that. The Kootenai Cold Smoke Festival is coming up the 3rd weekend in February, and there's all sorts of clinics on inbound skiing skills, backcountry travel techniques, intro to ski touring. If you check out the website for Kootenai Cold Smoke Festival, you can check out all the different clinic details. So great opportunity to come and check out the cold smoke. So have a great weekend, and stay safe out there. Have fun and enjoy Whitewater, and enjoy your area for what it is. It's finally snowing.